Welcome back to Modern Driver 555. This is not, and I repeat, not a BMW channel or an electric vehicle only channel. However, the fine folks at BMW and the BMW Performance Center in South Carolina did give me the opportunity to review this, and it is the new BMW i4 M50. It is the first electric vehicle that BMW had the team of engineers at the M division put their tweaks on this car. So I am looking forward to it. So you guys need to stay tuned and hit that subscribe button, and we're actually going to drive this car today. Here we are in front of the vehicle, and really quick looking at the numbers, we're looking at about 520 to 530 horsepower with the combined motors front and rear. This does have dual motors, so it's going to give it that X-Drive feel. The range is going to be anywhere from 220 to about 270. I think a lot of that is going to vary based on your driving habits. So up front, we do have this large grille. Now, another thing to know about the i4 M50 is there is a 40 version that's not an M that's available. The price point is lower, but on the M50 here, you're looking at somewhere around $65,000. We do have this textured front, which is different than the iX. Has a lot more scallops inside of it. You'll see the M badging here. You'll see the frontal camera. And the front, honestly, like I said, in person, it is not as bad as what the pictures make it out to be. I actually like the front end of it. It is open here, unlike the iX, which this was just a solid panel. Now guys, this was not built from the ground up as the iX was. This is based off of basically a 4 Series Grand Coupe, and you'll even notice when we get inside, there is still the transmission tunnel, even though this is an electric vehicle. It does weigh in at 5,000 pounds. So to have something that's got the M badging, the M suspension, the upgraded brakes, even the M logo on the steering wheel, that's still 5,000 pounds you have to manage on the track. So everything looks very familiar, and it's what I like about BMW. With these EVs, I'm starting to see that seamless integration from the internal combustion car that you might be used to being able to switch right over into that electric vehicle, but really not notice the difference other than the ungodly torque and the extra weight. It's also going to be very, very quiet inside. So if you're looking for that rumble, that engine noise, it's not going to be there unless they've simulated it inside. All the vents and everything that you see are active. They're not faux vents. This one is outfitted with the 20-inch wheels. 19 is going to be standard, and you can upgrade those to the 20. So we have these beautiful 20-inch wheels. You have the blue M rotors in here with the M logo. You do have the mirrors here that have that single perch, so it does retain a lot of that M styling that you're so used to in the M cars, whether it's an M3 competition or anything like that. These flush doors here, you still have the comfort access, but it's just a very smooth finish right here, and I guess that would help with making it more aerodynamic. This car is also a little lower than, let's say, an M3 by just a little bit, and I think that will help with aerodynamics. Charging is done via the fuel door here on the side. It is very similar in layout to the iX, where you have the fast charging, and if you are able to find a DC fast charger that is capable of like 200 kilowatts of energy, which you don't see a lot of those, this is capable of going from pretty much 10% to 90 miles in about 10 minutes of charging. It's just really clean looking. I love this color. It's just absolutely beautiful. You do have the low profile spoiler here. You can see it's an M50, and of course there's no exhaust, but they do have these airfoils in the back that honestly I really like the look. I like the stance of it. Right, so getting inside the vehicle, I'm very used to this. You've got the dead pedal on the left with the M logo. You've got the M logo here on the steering wheel. The stitching is great. And guys, yes, I am a little bit of a BMW fanboy. I am very comfortable in the vehicles, although I've had a lot of time in the Audis and the Mercedes. I'm just very comfortable with the BMWs and have driven them a long time. This one is outfitted with the Harman Kardon stereo system. This aluminum inside of here, you have a bunch of different options on it, but it's just very clean, very modern, and you have the two-tone buttons here, so they're not black here on the door. As far as your window controllers, you're also going to notice this panoramic screen, this curved glass, just like you saw on the BMW iX. Everything feels very familiar right now, and that's what I like. The only thing you've got to get used to is being able to charge. Now, I know a lot of you right off the bat are going to say, well, I don't know about that 200 and something range. But you have to remember, for most people, they're not going to drive that far of a distance on a daily basis. And your charge time, when you get home, you're probably already going to have enough battery to be able to charge it right back up in just a few hours with a level 2 charger. Level 2 chargers are available from BMW. There's a bunch of other companies for around that $600 price point. You just have to get an electrician to do that. This faux carbon fiber look material right here, I like the fact that they added texture. If this didn't have texture to it, I would not be as impressed with it. It's okay. It's, in my opinion, it's an M car. This probably should have carbon fiber here, but since it does have texture, I'm going to let it slide on that one. In the center here, you do have 2 cup holders, and I guess they still haven't gotten rid of that smoker's package. You do have a cigarette lighter and a USB here in the center with wireless charging up front. As far as your shifter controls, it's very intuitive. You have the unlock on the left side, which has been there for a while. You have the park here. You have your dynamic stability control here with your camera, park distance controller, and then the blue stop button. There are a lot of blue accents in here. I'm not a big fan of this light blue color. I know it's kind of in tune with the i8 and the i3, but I think in this car we probably needed something a little different. You do have your 3 drive modes, Sport, Comfort, and Eco Pro. You guys kind of know what that is. Sport is going to be for more aspirated driving, where you're wanting to have tighter steering, you're wanting to have tighter suspension, a little more throttle response. Comfort would be every day. Sport is not something you want to drive around with your wife, okay, because it can be very lurchy, and even the standard gasoline cars. Comfort's great for all day, and then Eco Pro's when you're really trying to stretch out that mileage. You have your auto hold function and your electronically actuated parking brake. This does have the 8th generation iDrive, and then your center armrest here has a USB-C, a light, and ample storage. This car is outfitted with manual seats, which isn't a deal breaker. I mean, it's okay. You can still get all the controls that you need. You have, I would be a little too high here. So a little bit of a hint, I think I might have mentioned this before in some of the other videos. You want about 3 or 4 fingers of clearance here. And some people sit up too high, but this keeps you safe in the case that you leave a roadway and now your body gets thrown up, you're not having neck damage. So make sure that you have enough clearance here, about 3 fingers, so I'll lower it down a little bit. This will usually give you a good view up underneath the rear view mirror as well, so you're not being blocked by that. All right, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time with the interior of this vehicle because it's BMW. You know it, you feel it, and they really haven't tried to depart from that too much. What I want to do is drive it, look at the performance, look at the stats 0 to 60. We'll also do a braking, getting this 5,000 pound vehicle slowed down from 60 to 0. I want to check that. And we already know it's going to have the torque. The electric cars have just a tremendous amount of torque, so that's not going to be a surprise. The 0-60 time by BMW is saying somewhere around 3.6, and I've seen numbers up to about 3.9 seconds. But still, sub 4 seconds, 0 to 60, that's pretty darn impressive. So, like I said, the inside is purely BMW, and I'm very comfortable with it. So the next thing we're going to do is get on the track and see how she drives. All right, so we're about to get underway. So we're going to press this start-stop button and not hear that internal combustion engine. So here we go. Okay, that's turning off. That's turning on. I doubt you guys heard that, but we're going to pull back on the shift knob and away we go. It's eerily quiet. Everything feels good. Feels like a BMW. Right now I'm in comfort mode, so very light steering. If I put it in sport mode, now sport has a really cool display because you also have Sport Boost in this model. Sport Boost actually gives it an additional 60 plus horsepower but you can't just keep using it. It does have to kind of time out, cool itself off, but it gives it all the maximum horsepower it can get. I am going to go ahead and put it in sport boost mode. We've got sport individual, sport, and configure boost. The first thing we want to do is we want to get a 0 to 60 time, and we will do that over here, and then we'll get an 1/8 mile time because I want to see what this baby has in a straight line. They're projecting a 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. I think we could probably get about a 3.9, maybe a 3.8 using launch control, which is done very simply by pressing on the brake and the gas at the same time. And let's see what we can get. Here we go. I'm gonna hold the brake. I'm gonna press the gas, the accelerator, because there is no gas. And here we go. Holy crud. 60. That's 60. That was pretty darn impressive with the launch control. Now, these tires do have some wear on them. Too bad I couldn't get you a 1/4 mile time because I'm sure it'd be pretty darn impressive, but this thing takes off. It puts you on the back of the seat. Let's see what kind of numbers we have on this. Now that's with launch control. I think you could probably do a little bit better feeding into it because it did spin quite a bit, but you can definitely tell it's got that 500 plus horsepower. All right, here we go. On the brake, on the gas. Oh yeah, this is definitely got a better hookup on that time. Got some heat in the tires, and that 0 to 60 time was 3.69 seconds. I could definitely tell it was a faster time, but I mean, honestly, it's very linear in power. It's not like the hit of a Tesla, but I don't think it was meant to be. It is an M car. I'm sure the handling is going to be great on it. So we'll do a 60 to 0 to see how fast this 5,000 pound vehicle brakes. So this is 65. Gives me a good idea. And from 60 to 0, 2.43 seconds, and the total distance is 108.85 feet. So pretty impressive numbers, even out of something so heavy. All right, so from a driver's point of view, it is a lot heavier vehicle to manage. But one of the things about what BMW has done is they haven't followed anybody else's mold. This was something they did with the i3 and the i8. They don't have frunks. The iX doesn't have a frunk. This doesn't have a front trunk. But that's not that big of a deal. I mean, we've never had to deal with this place anyway under the hood unless we were working on an engine or something like that. So giving up that space it pales in comparison to what these vehicles can do. And what they can do is bring you a standard sized car, not some econo box, but a standard sized premium vehicle that you would be proud to drive. You have plenty of range. Now, a lot of people get the anxiety of 220 miles, that's not going to be enough. I'm going to be stranded on the side of the road with a bricked vehicle, and that's not the case. If you are driving that type of mileage, then maybe look at a hybrid or maybe stay with the gasoline for now until the ranges can get longer. But for now, most people aren't going to be commuting more than 100 miles a day. They'll be able to go to work, come back home, and they'll still have tons of power and be able to charge within a few hours with a level 2 charger at home. So I do like BMW's mindset on this, not trying to rewrite the book on it. I would be proud to drive this car, and it's just like a 4 Series Grand Coupe, or Grand Coupe, however you'd like to say it. Price point again is about $65,000 plus add-ons. This does have a lot of optional accessories. As far as how the car feels, it's a lot of extra weight, about 1,000 pounds probably, but it still handles and drives like a BMW. The power is unbelievable, but we know that. You know, being able to turn in those 0 to 60 times, but still being able to brake in that 108 feet from 60 miles an hour, it's a great daily driver that can still accommodate 4 people. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the BMW i4 M50. Sometimes it is difficult to keep all of those numbers and letters all together. Big shout out to the BMW Performance Center for allowing me to do this. We had to do this quick and dirty. We only had a few minutes on the track, but thanks to everyone who helped this happen. Like, share, and subscribe. Modern Driver 555. Until the next one, we'll see you.